Childhood should be a time of innocence, laughter, and wonder. But for some of us, it's when the nightmares begin. This is a true story about something that happened to me when I was 8 years old. Something that still keeps me up at night. I call it The Boy in the Basement. My parents bought that house in late 2004. It was in upstate New York, a quiet area with hardly any neighbors. My mom said it was charming and had character. But even at 8, I could tell something was off. The air inside always felt heavy, like someone had been crying there for a long time. The basement, though, that was the worst part. It wasn't like a normal basement with a wide staircase or open space. The door to it was hidden behind a shelf in the hallway, like someone wanted it forgotten. And the light down there, it didn't work. Whenever you opened the door, you could smell dirt, rust, and something else, something sweet and rotting. That first night, I couldn't sleep. The floorboards kept creaking, even though no one was walking. At around 2:30 a.m., I heard what sounded like a toy car rolling across the floor, but my toy cars were packed away in a box. When I looked toward the hallway, I saw it. A small blue toy car slowly rolling toward my room. I froze. Then, from the darkness near the stairs, I heard whispering. "Come play." It was soft, childlike, but the voice didn't belong to anyone I knew. I screamed for my dad, but when he came, the toy was gone. He told me I was dreaming, but I knew what I heard. A few days later, I found a hidden basement door by accident. The shelf had been moved slightly, just enough to reveal the handle. I don't remember ever touching it, but something wanted me to. When I turned the knob, it was ice cold, and from behind the door came a faint humming sound like a lullaby. I cracked the door open just an inch, and the smell hit me, damp old wood and rot. The stairs disappeared into pitch-black nothingness. Then I saw movement, a small figure at the bottom, sitting on the floor. It was a boy, maybe my age. He had pale skin, dark hair, and clothes that looked old, like for the 1970s. He looked up at me, smiled faintly, and said, "You found me." Before I could react, my mom called me from upstairs. When I looked back, the boy was gone. Over the next few weeks, weird things kept happening. My toys would move during the night. My drawings would end up torn or burned at the edges. Sometimes I'd wake up to find little muddy footprints on my bedroom floor. Every time I told my parents, they brushed it off. But my mom started acting strange too. She'd stare at the basement door for long stretches, whispering to herself. One night, I overheard her on the phone. She was whispering, "He's back." The realtor didn't tell us, but I think he's still down there. A storm hit one night. Power went out, and my parents were arguing downstairs. I grabbed my flashlight and went to check the basement door again. The shelf had been pushed completely aside, and the door was open. From inside, I heard crying. A child's crying. I stepped down slowly, my flashlight flickering. The air was freezing. Each step creaked like the house was warning me to turn back. Halfway down, I saw him again, the boy. He was standing in the middle of the basement, barefoot, staring at a small wooden box. He looked up at me, and tears were running down his face. "They locked me here," he whispered. "Don't let them do it again." I asked him what he meant. He pointed to the box. When I knelt down, I realized it wasn't a box. It was a small coffin, and carved into it was a name. Timmy Harris, 1974 to 1982. After that night, my mom demanded we leave the house. She said she remembered something. When I was older, I found out what she meant. The house used to belong to a family named the Harrises. Their son, Timmy, went missing in 1982. Police found his body in the basement, sealed in a wooden box. His parents disappeared soon after. The realtor never told us. And the weirdest part? The shelf that hid the door, my mom didn't put it there. It was already there when we moved in. Like someone wanted to make sure no one ever found that door again. 15 years later, I drove past that neighborhood again. The house was still there, boarded up, forgotten. But when I stopped my car and looked at it, I saw something through the window, a small face, watching me. The same pale boy holding a blue toy car. He smiled and waved. Some homes keep their memories buried. Others don't let them go. And sometimes, the ones who never leave just want a friend to play with. When I was 9 years old, I made a friend. She only came out when the lights were off, and when I looked into the mirror, I thought she was imaginary. I thought she was me. But what she wanted was something far darker. In 2007, my family moved into a small house on Grove Street, just outside of Lincoln, Nebraska. It wasn't anything fancy. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a tiny yard where my dad said he'd build a swing set someday. My favorite part of the room was the mirror. It was attached to a small wooden vanity the previous owners left behind. The mirror had carvings around the edge, flowers, vines, and something that looked like a girl holding a doll. At first, I thought it was beautiful, until I realized the girl carved into the frame didn't look happy. The first time I saw her, I thought it was my imagination. It was late, maybe 11 p.m., and I was brushing my hair before bed. When I glanced into the mirror, my reflection didn't move with me. I froze. I blinked, and then it caught up. But just before it did, I swear the reflection smiled. A wide, toothy grin that I wasn't making. I told my mom the next morning. She said it was just the lighting. But that night, when I turned off my lamp, I heard whispering from the mirror. "Don't be scared. I'm your friend." Her voice was soft, young, almost like mine, but slightly lower. Over the next few weeks, she started showing up more. Whenever I brushed my teeth, combed my hair, or even walked past the mirror, she was there. At first, she mimicked me. Then, she started doing different things. She'd wave when I didn't, tilt her head when I looked straight ahead. Sometimes she'd mouth words that I couldn't hear. One night, I whispered, "What's your name?" She smiled, that same wide smile. Her lips moved slowly. "Eloise." My mom had this old Polaroid camera. One morning, she took a picture of me sitting at my vanity, brushing my hair. When the photo printed, she went pale. Behind me, in the mirror, there was another face. A girl with dark eyes, messy hair, and a red dress. But there was no one behind me in the room. Mom tore the photo and threw it away. That night, she covered the mirror with a bedsheet. But when I woke up around 3 a.m., the sheet was on the floor, and the mirror was uncovered. In the reflection, Eloise was standing right behind me, smiling. Eloise started talking more after that. At first, she just asked innocent questions. "Do you like your school? What's your favorite color? Does your mom love you?" Then one night, she asked something else. "Do you ever wish you could trade places? You could live here with me, and I could go out there." Her hand pressed against the inside of the glass, and my reflection, or hers, rippled like water. I ran out of the room crying. My dad checked the mirror, trying to calm me down. He told me it was just a phase. But that night, I heard whispering again, louder this time. "She doesn't believe you." But I do. I started acting weird at school. Teachers said I was distracted. My best friend said I looked different. I didn't tell anyone, but sometimes my reflection at school windows didn't match me either. It would tilt its head, grin, blink late. At home, Mom stopped letting me close my door at night. She said she heard me talking to someone, but I wasn't. Not out loud, anyway. Eloise was always in my head. "I can show you things," she whispered one night, "if you let me in." That night, I dreamt I was standing in front of the mirror. Eloise reached through it and touched my hand. Her skin was ice cold. When I woke up the next morning, there were small red handprints on the mirror. I screamed. Mom came running in, horrified. She thought I'd cut myself, but I hadn't. When she tried to wipe the prints off, they smeared like the blood was inside the glass. We called a priest. He sprinkled holy water on the mirror, said a prayer, and told my parents to get rid of it. They did, or tried to. Dad threw the mirror into the dumpster behind our house that evening. But when I woke up the next morning, it was back, right in front of my bed. That night, everything fell apart. I woke up to the smell of smoke. The curtains were burning, and the fire was spreading fast. My dad grabbed me, yelling for Mom to get outside. But as he carried me through the hallway, I saw it again. The mirror, standing upright in the middle of the flames, untouched. And inside it, Eloise was smiling, waving goodbye. She mouthed something before the smoke filled the room. "Now you're free." We made it out. Barely. The fire department said the blaze started near a heat source. But the only thing in that corner of my room was the vanity. And somehow, when they found it, the mirror wasn't burned, not even cracked. I'm 24 now. I don't talk about what happened much, but sometimes I still dream of her. A few weeks ago, I walked into an antique shop. Near the back, stacked between old furniture and boxes of junk, I saw it. The mirror, same carvings, same frame. And when I looked closely, the faint outline of a girl's hand pressed against the inside. The tag said, "Antique Vanity Mirror, 1970s, $25. They say mirrors aren't just reflections, but sometimes they're doors, and the things behind them are waiting for someone curious enough to open them." Every kid has a place they love to play. A park, a backyard, maybe a playground. But for me, the place I loved most became the place that ruined me. I was 8 years old when I met the man under the slide. In the summer of 2003, my family lived in a quiet town in Kansas. Population barely 2,000. Our neighborhood park was my world. It had rusty monkey bars, a broken seesaw, and one big red slide that towered above everything else. It was old, the kind of metal slide that burned your skin in the summer. But every kid loved it. Every kid except me. Because the first time I slid down it, I heard him, a whisper coming from underneath the slide. "Faster, come down faster." I froze at the bottom, looking around. No one was there, just the slide's shadow stretching across the dirt. But the voice, I'll never forget that voice. It was deep, raspy, and it knew my name. After that, I started hearing him more often. Every time I went near the slide, he'd whisper something new. "You're my favorite. Don't tell your mom. Come play when it's dark." I tried to tell my parents, but they didn't believe me. My dad said maybe a homeless guy had passed through, but no one ever saw anyone there. Then weird things started happening. My toys would go missing, only to reappear under the slide. Candy wrappers showed up in the dirt. One morning, I found a Polaroid photo buried near the base of a child, a boy I'd never seen before. He was sitting on the same slide, smiling, but there was a shadow behind him. One night, I woke up and saw something strange through my window. Our house faced the park. You could see the slide perfectly from my bedroom. At around 2:40 a.m., I saw someone standing near it. Tall, hunched, unmoving. He was staring at my window. When a streetlight flickered, I caught a glimpse. A man in a dirty gray jacket, long hair covering his face. And under the slide, something moved, like someone else was crawling under it. I ran to my parents' room, screaming. My dad rushed outside with a flashlight. But when he got there, the park was empty. The next morning, there were footprints in the sand. Big ones, adult-sized, leading from the slide toward our house. A week later, news spread through town. A girl from 2 streets over, Emily Sanders, went missing. She was last seen playing at the park. Police swarmed the area. They searched the woods, the sand, the old playground structures. They even took apart the slide. But they found nothing. That night, I looked out my window again. The slide looked darker than usual. And at the bottom, something shiny caught the light. When I went to check the next morning, I found it. A bracelet. Pink beads with the name Emily spelled out. A few days later, curiosity got the better of me. I went to the park alone. It was early evening, the sky turning orange. I crouched down and crawled under the slide for the first time. The space was small, dark and cold. I could smell something metallic like old blood. There were toys scattered everywhere. Dolls, cars, shoes, and something else, a torn photograph. It was of Emily and me. I had no idea when it was taken. That's when I heard breathing. Slow, wet, right behind me. A voice whispered in my ear. "I told you not to tell." I screamed and ran home. My dad called the police, and they came to search again. This time, they found a small tunnel behind the slide, half collapsed, leading into the woods. Inside were pieces of children's clothing, candy wrappers, and old newspapers from the 90s. The police said the tunnel was probably used by animals, but one of the officers looked disturbed. He told my dad quietly that 10 years earlier, A man named Earl Danner had been arrested for abducting children in a nearby town. He used to lure them from playgrounds. He was caught, but escaped in 1995. They never found him. Our town never knew. After the police left, my parents refused to let me near the park again. For weeks, everything seemed normal. Then, one foggy night, I heard tapping on my window. I looked up, and through the glass, I saw a dirty hand pressed against it. 5 long fingers smeared with mud. And behind it, that same man, gray jacket, long hair, his mouth moving, whispering something I couldn't hear. I froze. Then he smiled, wide, crooked teeth showing through the dirt, and pointed toward the park, toward the slide. The next day, my dad noticed something strange. A patch of dirt near the slide looked freshly dug up. He called the sheriff. When they dug deeper, they found bones. Small ones. It took weeks to confirm, but DNA tests proved what everyone feared. They belonged to the missing girl, Emily Sanders. And near her remains, buried just inches away, was a child's Polaroid camera. The last picture it took, a blurry photo of the slide, and a tall shadow standing beside it. They tore the park down after that, built a small memorial for Emily and the other missing kids. We moved away not long after, but sometimes I drive through that town again. The park is gone now, just a field of weeds. But whenever I pass by, I see it, a faint outline in the dirt, like something long and curved, half buried, the shape of a slide. And once, just once, I saw something move underneath it, a hand, waving. They say monsters don't hide under beds anymore, but sometimes they just move to the playground, waiting, watching for the next kid who'll slide down and never come back up. If these stories made your heart race, imagine what's coming next. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you never miss the next true horror that'll keep you awake tonight.